Installing a grounding electrode conductor, or GEC, in rigid metallic conduit is permissible, but generally not the recommended method. Several factors contribute to this recommendation, primarily related to impedance, magnetic saturation, and potential arcing. Ferrous conduit introduces inductive impedance, which can impede the flow of ground current during a lightning event or fault condition. This impedance acts as a barrier, reducing the effectiveness of the GEC and quickly dissipating high currents. The conduit's impedance becomes more significant as the frequency of the current increases, as is the case with lightning strikes. In high current scenarios, the ferrous conduit can experience magnetic saturation. This means the conduit material reaches its maximum capacity to carry magnetic flux. Once saturated, the impedance of the conduit increases substantially, further hindering the flow of ground current. This saturation effect can render the grounding system less effective when it is needed most. A damaged GEC within a ferrous conduit introduces a potential fire hazard. If the GEC insulation is compromised and comes into contact with the conduit, an electrical arc can form. This arc can ignite the conduit or surrounding materials, posing a fire risk. Using a non-ferrous conduit or a bare conductor eliminates this risk. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, recommends installing the GEC as directly as possible to the grounding electrode, preferably using a non-ferrous conduit or a bare conductor. This minimizes impedance and ensures the most effective grounding path. The Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, or IEEE, Emerald Book, specifically IEEE Standard 1100-2018, states that GEC should not be encased in metal raceways. This recommendation emphasizes the importance of minimizing impedance and avoiding the issues associated with ferrous conduits. NFPA 70E-2021 recommends using non-ferrous raceways for GEC. This guideline is consistent with the NEC and IEEE recommendations, reinforcing the importance of using non-ferrous materials for GEC installations. The Lightning Protection Institute, or LPI, also provides guidance on this matter. LPI technical reports state that GEC in metal conduit can increase electrical resistance. This increased resistance further reduces the effectiveness of the grounding system in protecting against lightning strikes. Based on industry research and recommendations, installing a GEC in rigid metallic conduit is not advisable. The increased impedance, potential for magnetic saturation, and risk of fire outweigh any perceived benefits. It is better to use a non-ferrous conduit, such as PVC, or install the GEC as a bare conductor. Firstly, consider using non-metallic conduits such as PVC. PVC conduit offers excellent protection for the GEC without introducing the issues of impedance and magnetic saturation associated with ferrous materials. It is also resistant to corrosion and is relatively easy to install. Secondly, consider using a bare conductor. Installing the GEC as a bare conductor provides the most direct and unimpeded path to ground. This method eliminates the impedance introduced by any type of conduit. However, ensure the bare conductor is adequately protected from physical damage. Thirdly, use bonding bushings when using metallic conduit. If using metallic conduit, bonding bushings are required on each end where the GEC enters and exits the conduit. These bushings help to reduce impedance and ensure a continuous grounding path. However, even with bonding bushings, the overall impedance will still be higher than that of a non-ferrous conduit or bare conductor. Fourthly, choose a direct routing path. Route the GEC as directly as possible to the grounding electrode. Avoid unnecessary bends or loops, as these can increase impedance. A straight, direct path provides the most efficient grounding path. Fifthly, ensure proper connections. All connections to the GEC and grounding electrode must be made using approved connectors and methods. Loose or corroded connections can introduce resistance and reduce the effectiveness of the grounding system. Sixthly, inspect regularly. Regularly inspect the GEC and grounding connections to ensure they are in good condition. Look for signs of corrosion, damage, or loose connections. Address any issues promptly to maintain the integrity of the grounding system. Seventhly, consult local codes. Always consult local electrical codes and regulations before installing a GEC. Local codes may have specific requirements or restrictions on GEC installations. Eighthly, follow manufacturer's instructions. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for all grounding components, including connectors, bushings, and grounding electrodes. Proper installation is essential for ensuring the effectiveness and safety of the grounding system. Ninthly, consider the soil conditions. The type of soil surrounding the grounding electrode can affect its effectiveness. In areas with poor soil conductivity, it may be necessary to use multiple grounding electrodes or soil enhancement techniques. Tenthly, prioritize safety. Always prioritize safety when working with electrical systems. To energize circuits before making any connections or modifications. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, and follow safe work practices. Understanding inductive impedance is crucial. Inductive impedance is the opposition to the flow of alternating current, or AC, caused by the inductance of a circuit. Inductance is the property of a conductor to oppose changes in current flow. Ferrous materials, like steel, have high permeability, meaning they concentrate magnetic fields. When a conductor carrying alternating current is placed within a ferrous conduit, the magnetic field generated by the current induces a voltage in the conduit. This induced voltage opposes the original current flow, creating inductive impedance. The higher the frequency of the current, the greater the inductive impedance. During a lightning strike, the current is a very high frequency transient. The inductive impedance of the ferrous conduit significantly impedes the flow of this high frequency current to ground, reducing the effectiveness of the GEC. Magnetic saturation is another important concept to understand. Magnetic saturation occurs when a ferromagnetic material, like steel, reaches its maximum capacity to carry magnetic flux. When a magnetic field is applied to a ferromagnetic material, the material becomes magnetized. As the strength of the magnetic field increases, the magnetization of the material also increases until it reaches a point where it can no longer increase, even with a further increase in the magnetic field. This is the point of magnetic saturation. When a ferrous conduit becomes magnetically saturated, its permeability decreases, and its impedance increases significantly. This increased impedance further impedes the flow of ground current, especially during high current events like lightning strikes. The potential for arcing should also be considered. If the GEC is damaged within the conduit, it can create an arc and ignite the conduit, posing a fire hazard. Electrical arcing is a phenomenon where electric current jumps across a gap between two conductors. This can occur when the insulation of a conductor is damaged, and the conductor comes into close proximity to another conductor or grounded object. The arc generates intense heat, which can ignite flammable materials. If the GEC is damaged within a ferrous conduit, the arc can ignite the conduit itself or surrounding materials, causing a fire. Using a non-ferrous conduit or a bare conductor eliminates this risk. The NEC provides specific guidelines for grounding electrode conductors. Article 250 of the NEC covers grounding and bonding requirements. Section 250.64 addresses the installation of grounding electrode conductors. This section specifies that the GEC must be installed as directly as possible to the grounding electrode and must be securely fastened in place. The NEC also allows the GEC to be installed in a raceway or cable armor for physical protection. However, the code recommends using non-ferrous materials for this purpose. The IEEE Emerald Book, specifically IEEE Standard 1100-2018, provides recommendations for power and grounding sensitive electronic equipment. This standard recommends that GEC should not be encased in metal raceways. The Emerald Book emphasizes the importance of minimizing impedance and ensuring a low impedance path to ground for sensitive electronic equipment. NFPA 70-2021 provides guidance on electrical safety in the workplace. This standard recommends using non-ferrous raceways for GEC to minimize the risk of electrical hazards. NFPA 70E addresses safety-related work practices, electrical safety requirements for special equipment, and safety-related maintenance requirements. The Lightning Protection Institute, or LPI, is an organization that develops standards and provides training for lightning protection systems. LPI technical reports state that GEC in metal conduit can increase electrical resistance. LPI recommends using non-ferrous materials for GEC installations to ensure effective lightning protection. When selecting a grounding electrode, several options are available. Common grounding electrodes include metal underground water pipes, ground rings, rod and pipe electrodes, and plate electrodes. Each type of grounding electrode has its advantages and disadvantages. Metal underground water pipes are commonly used as grounding electrodes because they provide a large surface area in contact with the earth. However, the water pipe must be in direct contact with the earth for at least 10 feet to be effective. Ground rings are continuous conductors that encircle a building or structure and are buried directly in the earth. Ground rings provide a low impedance grounding path and are often used in areas with poor soil conductivity. Rod and pipe electrodes are driven into the earth to provide a grounding path. These electrodes must be at least 8 feet long and must be driven to a depth where they are in permanent contact with the earth. Plate electrodes are metal plates that are buried in the earth to provide a grounding path. Plate electrodes must have a surface area of at least 2 square feet and must be buried below the permanent moisture level. Soil conductivity plays a crucial role in grounding effectiveness. Soil conductivity is a measure of how well the soil conducts electricity. Soils with high moisture content and high mineral content tend to have higher conductivity. Sandy soils and rocky soils tend to have lower conductivity. In areas with poor soil conductivity, it may be necessary to use multiple grounding electrodes or soil enhancement techniques to improve grounding effectiveness. Soil enhancement techniques include adding conductive materials to the soil, such as bentonite clay or copper sulfate. These materials improve the soil's ability to conduct electricity, thereby improving the effectiveness of the grounding system. Proper grounding and bonding are essential for electrical safety. Grounding provides a low impedance path for fault currents to return to the source, allowing overcurrent protective devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, to quickly interrupt the circuit. Bonding connects all metal parts of an electrical system together to create an equipotential plane. This minimizes the risk of electric shock by ensuring that all metal parts are at the same voltage potential. Regular inspection and maintenance of grounding systems are essential for ensuring their continued effectiveness. Grounding connections can corrode over time, reducing their conductivity. Grounding electrodes can also become damaged or disconnected. Regular inspection and maintenance can identify and correct these issues before they become a safety hazard. When inspecting a grounding system, look for signs of corrosion, damage, or loose connections. Use a multimeter to measure the resistance of the grounding system. A high resistance reading indicates a problem with the grounding system that needs to be addressed. In conclusion, while it is permissible to install a GEC in rigid metallic conduit with bonding bushings, it is not the recommended practice. The increased impedance potential for magnetic saturation and risk of fire outweigh any perceived benefits. It is better to use a non-ferrous conduit, such as PVC, or install the GEC as a bare conductor. Always follow the recommendations of the NEC, IEEE, NFPA, and LPI, as well as local electrical codes and regulations when installing grounding systems. This will help to ensure the safety and effectiveness of the electrical system.